I too wanted to just take a moment to respond to some of the things that we heard from our colleague from Colorado, and I appreciate Congresswoman DeGette and Ranking Member Pallone's responses that covered a lot of the things that I jotted down notes about as we were hearing from Mr. Evans. But I think that one of the challenges here on this committee is highlighted by the comments that Mr. Evans was making. And certainly, I don't think anyone on this committee thinks that I support banning or phasing out natural gas or fossil fuels, and that's not what this amendment does. So I'm not sure why we had a long conversation about that relating to this amendment. But what he did mention that I think is important is how expensive it is for people who have health issues to get access to health care, and that we shouldn't be imposing burdens on getting access to health care. But that's exactly what this committee has done for the last year. We've made it harder for people who get Medicaid to access their Medicaid. This Congress did not extend the enhanced premium tax credits that are designed to help people get affordable health care and get to a doctor. So I think it's ironic that that's the argument being used against clean air standards here when this Congress is voting to make it harder for people to get access to health care. And the other thing that's driving up costs for everyone are these insane tariffs that the president is instituting on a whim all the time, now apparently over whether NATO countries are going to object to his plan to take over Greenland. And I'm not hearing anything from anyone on this committee objecting to those tariffs. In fact, the Republicans in this Congress put something in our rule vote last fall to prevent us from even talking about tariffs, to prevent us from even having the conversation about, one, whether the president's authorized to do it, which he's not, and two, whether these tariffs are a good idea, which clearly they are not. When we're talking about what's driving up costs for Americans, you can't ignore the tariffs. But everybody in this Congress seems to have their head in the sand about what is driving up costs. And so the idea that air quality restrictions are going to make it harder for people to get to a doctor, and it's going to make it harder on their wallets when we know that the tariffs and the massive billions of dollars of cuts to healthcare are a huge problem for people in every state in this country. And so I just think, our job on this committee is to deal with the hard stuff and the complexities, and we're not doing that. Right? We're supposed to do this in a balanced way. But this Congress is not responding to the assault, not only on governing, which we're seeing as this administration ignores pretty much everything coming out of this Congress that isn't a rubber stamp of what it already wants to do, but we're not doing the hard stuff. And so I am shocked to hear a response to an amendment to protect clean air standards come around to making sure that people have access to health care, because that is not what this Congress has done. With that, I yield back.